British Petroleum. It doesn't get any more New World Order than that. Top globalists, Queen Beatrix and the Queen of England, the Queen of the Netherlands and the Queen of England jointly own the company together. They control the company on record. And it's a top Bilderberg Group company pushing the carbon taxes when you're in an airport or you're looking at billboards or you're looking at a magazine like The Economist. Every 4 or 5 pages is a BP ad the last 5 years pushing global government carbon taxes. And now their whole carbon tax situation is in trouble. And magically, an oil rig that a month before the disaster, 36 days ago, gets a award from the Obama administration for safety, and then it blows up, and it's leaking oil, and BP can't put it out, can't stop the leak. And they don't put bacteria, microbes that could eat the oil in at the source. They didn't light it on fire day one as they should have done as another recourse. They just can't seem to seal it. And now they're saying this could go on for years. Yesterday it was till Christmas, another 6 months. Now it could be years. Now it could be forever. Sorry. Sorry. And Goldman Sachs dumps 4,680,822 shares of BP, a record oil company dump, the biggest in their history, 2 days before the spill.
This video was shot by the local parish government in South Pass. When we tried to reach the beach, seen here and covered in oil, a boat of BP contractors with 2 Coast Guard officers on board told us to turn around under threat of arrest.
This is BP road, it's not ours.
You said that there are 3 tiers as far as the dynasty of families is concerned from the Rothschilds and the New World Order. Could you explain that 3-tier system to me?
Well, nothing can really function unless there's a hierarchy. Somebody at the top has to tell the people lower down what to do and how to think and how to act and so forth. So in the world order, you have a very distinct hierarchy. Dynastic families who can trace their lineage back thousands of years. And because they have learned to survive and how to manipulate other people to do their will. And that's all being a member of the world order means. You know how to use other people and profit by them. And whether you slaughter them or rob them or torture them, whatever you do, you make money at it. And this is what they do. So in the world order, you have a top hierarchy of first-tier rank of dynastic families composed really of the old surviving aristocracies of Europe. The black nobility, they're called. They're called the black nobility because they came from the darker strain in the aristocracy of Europe. And the old Viking, blue-eyed, blonde aristocrats, more or less, were pushed into the background, or they intermarried with the black nobility and became contaminated. And this is what you have. Of course, the surviving royal family in Europe today is the royal family of England. And they have been black nobility since the 12th century when the Este family of Italy married into the British royal family. So the first rank, first tier is the old aristocracies of Europe plus what they call their Hofjuden, their court Jews, which are the Rothschilds and families of that nature who are able to raise money for them and keep them functioning. Now in the second tier of world dynastic families, the world order, you have the families who themselves are enormously rich and powerful, but their duty is to serve as courtiers to the first tier of dynastic families. And people in that category are the Rockefellers, the Harrimans, the Morgans, and so forth. Now you have a third tier of dynastic families who serve the second tier. They're never allowed to approach the real top people in the first tier, but they can only serve through serving the second tier. And these are families like the George Herbert Walker Bush family. George Herbert Walker was president of W.A. Harriman Company, and the Bush family's entire career in banking was to serve the Harriman interests, who in turn served the Rothschilds. So that's why I began to use the term about Bush as a dynastic family in the world order of the third tier.
we can clearly say now that all the evidence is clear. It's all now pointing directly at this being a staged event. Goldman Sachs dumped more than half their stock, 4,680,822 shares in the days before the all-time record on a dump directly against BP. I noticed it wasn't against other oil companies. Same thing with Buzzy Krongard and Deutsche & Brown dumping record amounts and put options on American and United in the 4 days before 9/11. You have BP being the inner globalist Dutch Roll Shell, Queen Beatrix, Queen Elizabeth company. You have them being the main funder of global carbon taxes in the private corporate media, sponsoring TV shows, you name it. You have the fact that they will not cap it, that they got the award a month before, that Obama is now calling for his carbon taxes and wellhead taxes and pump taxes, so oil company taxes, citizen taxes at the pump, and carbon taxes, when their whole agenda is stalled to set up the world government and fund it. We know their dialectic of FEMA staging its own event and not allowing aid to get in to then claim that they needed more funding and power. We called that day one. I can now conclusively say, Watson, hands down, this has got to be a staged event. All the evidence is pointing towards that.